Okay. Peace, blessings, namaste. All the light workers and warriors all over the planet. Um, I'm going to jump right into this because, of course, this is another rut row type of moment here. And we're going to discuss how to discern the spirits properly. And this is necessary because, as you know, we're in this great awakening and there has been this explosion of spirituality, right? I mean, people are coming out the woodwork with all types of systems and things that you may have been familiar with and some that you have not, okay? And we're openly practicing, and we have metaphysical shops that are just showing up everywhere, and people are engaged in their crystals and candles and things like that, and it's okay. I'm not here to judge that, okay? But what I am here to explain to you is that you have to be you need to be very conscious on what it is that you're doing, because a lot of us are jumping into this spirituality wave or fad that's going on right now with very little understanding on how this works. And not only that, but very little understanding of the energies that you're actually communicating with. And that's a big deal right now because it affects everything about you personally, your family life, everything. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to discern the difference between these spirits. Of course, the veil is very thin right now. So we're constantly in communication and we're in contact with all types of spirits that's coming through. And if you are one that operates in a lot of the clairs, clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, if you're operating in the clairs, these are standing out to you like sore thumbs. Okay, like everyday life. This has become a part of your everyday life. So it is important for you to protect your energy and and just know what you know. And more importantly, staying connected with the divine source. Okay, stay connected. All right. You have to. And then you have to lead with your heart, and you have to trust that little intuition, because I'm going to break down some things that you may or may not be aware of. Are you ready? Okay, roll number 2. Okay, spirits reside in different dimensions, right? From your 3D realms, your earth realms, 4-dimensional time and space, 5-dimensional Pleiades. We can go on and on and on, right? All the way up to the source of creation, or the Ein Sof. So you have different levels of spiritual communication that is going on. Now, the closer the spirit is to the earth realm, the more denser the knowledge is. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean, each spirit has the ability to process information based off the level of understanding that they have achieved. So a lower level spirit can only see what they see and understand what they understand, whereas a higher level spirit has the ability to see a broader picture. All right. So we already know we have 3, and then most people only get to 9. There's way more dimensions than that, but most people tend to get to 9. All right. But in any event, if you can get to 9, so I'm not even going to say that. We're going to start that again. I'm going to say most people are familiar with 9 dimensions. Not all have the ability to access it, though. Okay. So going back to that now, what you will know about higher spirit communication, like such as angels or ascended masters or things of that level that are kind of operating in maybe 8th, 9th dimensional space. Some of them 7. Just depends on who you know or who is communicating with you. One thing you will know about them is, number 1, they will never ask of anything from you. They're not going to ask you for offerings. They're not going to ask you for wine. They're not going to ask you for favors. They're not going to ask you for food or perfumes or any of those things. Why? Because they've already transitioned from the earth realms. They have practiced detachment. So they're not bound to these things. Okay. The more that we are here, the denser our energies are, right? We're in this meat suit. We have pleasures of the flesh that we can feel here that we may not be able to feel any other place, especially when you turn into your light bodies and you become pure energy. You can't engage in a lot of the things that you used to. And there's a lot of spirits who have a problem letting go. So they are literally bound to the 3 and 4 dimensional spaces. Okay. And they are living their lives vicariously through you. And it is an energetic exchange. Okay. You give them something, they give you something, vice versa. You just keep going on and on and on, but they're also not ascending either. And as long as we're providing these things from them, we can't see our ancestors on to the other side because we're actually helping them or assisting them in being trapped here on this plane. And right now we don't have time for that because we're cleaning the energies of the earth. Our ancestors, they have to go home. They have to go home. They have to increase their learning. They have to make it to higher dimensions. We were created to continually evolve. Okay, we don't just die and that's the end. And we sit around and just hang out in heaven all day. You're just lazy. That's not how that works. I know that might have been how you were taught, but no, we continually to evolve and grow even after we lose the meat suits. So there's all types of promotions that go on, in the other realms, and they're very exciting when I get a chance to witness them. Okay. But, so we're supposed to be here, trying to guide. If they're coming to you, we try to guide them out of here. We don't sit here and lose them. You don't know how many of people or spirits that have passed away that come to me and say that they're tired, that they want to go home. And some of them are being kept here because we, in our ignorance, are assisting them in that process unawares. We're giving them the things that they enjoyed while they were walking this earth, and they have zero to no desire to leave it now. That becomes a problem. And that's not something that many of us are willing to face, okay? So, number one, higher dimensional beings will never, ever, ever, ever ask of you anything. They don't need anything. They've transcended that consciousness. They're not attached to anything earthly. And right now, their biggest honor is to see you reach the levels that they are in. Okay? It's a each one teach one type of thing. And they get merits when they're able to do that. And then they move on to higher lights. We're all growing, right? We're all growing. And that's what we were designed to do. All right. So clean your mind of okay, when I'm done here on this earth, all I get to do is chill. That is not going to happen. You're going to continue to learn. Listen to my words when I say this to you. Anything that does not move, grow, or expand is dead. I'll repeat it again. Anything that does not move, grow, or expand is dead. That's considered stagnant energy. Stagnant energy is useless energy. So we're constantly in motion. We're constantly evolving and all of that, okay? Number two, high dimensional consciousness never interferes with free will, okay? They'll never interfere with it. Now, they can guide you. They can give you advice, but they're not going to jump in and make anything happen. You have to want it, okay? You have to do it. You have to open up yourself to say, okay, I'm going to submit now to a higher truth, and I'm going to move on to the next level, and I'm going to take your advice, okay? But, when you're out here messing around in spirituality, you have beings, I don't like this person, so I want to attack them, or I want to put a curse on them, and then they'll go and honor what it is that you paid them through monetary value or whatever it is. It's equivalent to selling your soul. Ooh, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. But it's equivalent to selling your soul. I'm going to say it again. And you can get these beings to infringe on somebody else's free will. I've seen it done. Okay. I want this man to love me. Can you make him love me? And now you go to some type of practitioner, and that practitioner does some type of spell work, and now this man is in a false love relationship with you. They have interfered with free will. Therefore, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, we don't want to speak of those type of things. We don't want to speak of those type of things. No. Okay, so, but they've interfered with free will. Higher dimensional beings know that you're a sovereign being. Okay, they are trying to get you to be the best version of yourself that is possible. Honoring your contracts, bring you connected back to God, get that connection back. They're monitoring your progress, and they're not really concerned about what you can give them, because you honestly can't give them anything. They're way beyond here. Okay, they're not trapped here. Okay, so they don't interfere with free will. Another thing that higher angelic realms, and masters reside, what they will not do is engage in petty gossip. They're not concerned about what Veronica's doing. They're not concerned about what Michael's doing. They're not concerned about these things, okay? They're concerned about you. They want to see you become your best version. They want to see you shake off the densities of this earth. They want to see you ascend to higher levels when you leave your meat suit. So they're not spending a whole bunch of effort gossiping about Shanae and Rick. What they got going on. They're way above that, and you need to be too. Okay, so I tell you, be careful with these gossiping spirits as well. They like to cause dissension and discord. So now, if you're tapping into vibrational beings that love to tell you what somebody else thinks about you or what somebody else is doing, then I suggest you cut that communication off completely, because it's ridiculous. And we don't have time for it, right? We got stuff to do around here. Oh, who cares? I don't need a spirit telling me somebody else doesn't like me. I can see it with my own eyes if they don't. I don't care. I haven't come here to really be liked like that. I'm coming to fulfill my obligations so that I can go home, because I'm ready to go home. Okay. So they're not being involved in any gossip. You have to understand that every master teacher that came here through various religions that obtained Christ consciousness and went back to God all taught the value of detachment. Why? Why? Because it is important for you to go on to higher levels of understanding. And you can't do that if you are attached to earth and earth food and earth relationships and earth tobacco and earth wine and and we love the pleasures of earth here. You know what I mean? We love having our relationships, our loved ones. Some of our loved ones haven't even transitioned on because they still love you and they're afraid of leaving you behind. If you're operating in the clairs and you can see these spirits when they come and talk to you, it is important that you share with them about the light and the importance to move on. Don't you realize the longer you're trapped on the earth away from the light, you're missing out more information? You're not growing. You become denser and denser. And soon, these spirits that we're looking towards as guides, they think just like you. They get angry. They get jealous, frustrated. You forgot to pour the wine today. What's going to happen to your business? You have to know these things if you're trying to tap into this type of spiritual system, because you will mess yourself up. And not only will you keep those beings trapped here, but you'll find yourself trapped here too. If you don't know how to let go and trust source, right? It's a scary thing to know that you could be entertaining dark energy unawares that is posing as angels of light. But there's certain characteristics that they all have in common. And that characteristic is, what can you do for me? Right? Not what can I do for you? Now, with that being said, there are energy beings that that people are entertaining that actually don't want us in at all. Like, they want control of the earth. They want to be here, and they want to take as many of you with them as possible. Yeah. They do. And then there are some that I consider neutral, okay? And these neutral ones have stayed here on a 3D earth, not because they're afraid of judgment, but because they don't know how to let go. They don't know how to let go, or they haven't learned what they needed to learn. And some of them are trying to do good works so that they can get more merits and have the ability to transcend from this earth to higher dimensional realms, right? So some of them are what I consider neutrals, and, they do hang around, and sometimes they ask, what can I do for you? And you know what my response to them all the time is? The best thing that you can do for me is to leave here. Go home. Ask for your mercy. If you've cut up on this earth, ask for mercy. And say that you're ready to continue or evolve past this plane of existence, because the more you're here or the longer you're here, this earth becomes a prison to you. And I need for you to go home, to learn, so that maybe one day you can come back and you'll become an ascended master too, or a spirit guide. But I need you off this plane. I don't entertain these things because I know how important it is right now for us to raise the vibration of this planet. And this is a lot of distraction that is going on. And also because I'm very empathetic and sympathetic, I become compassionate when I see stranded spirits and they want to go home. And maybe they're stuck here because a human that's practicing is using them right now, feeding them, giving them things, sacrificing. And they're here taking it and living through them, but they're tired. What are you doing to help us raise the vibration of the planet? What are you doing to help us? Are you helping us do this, or are you hindering us from doing this? Because there's energies that want to leave, and we're binding them. And on the flip side of that, they're binding you. I want you to think for a second. Because when I tell you that energies and spirits only can identify from the level that they're residing on, okay? So a three-dimensional spirit only sees things at three-dimensional, 4 or 5, you got it. All right? What can they really teach you if they themselves have not transitioned on to higher learning? Think about that. And I want you to think about this too. If you have two spiritual practitioners that are dealing with the same spirit guide, and they don't like each other, and one wants to try to curse the other, again, manipulating free will, try to curse the other, who does that spirit answer to? I'll tell you who it answers to. The highest bidder, the one they like. And this is why I don't even deal in those realms. I don't even pay it any mind. I try to help where I can. I call on my team, my angelic team, to assist me, in opening portals and sending them where they need to go. And then they work it out from there, because I'm still stuck here. So I can't see what goes on once they go through the portal. Some of them probably make it. Some of them, you never know. I know of a particular angel that loves his sword. And I don't think all of them make it. So, but I do my part. I'm just here to do my part. So be careful. Be very, very careful. And understand the realms. Okay? Understand these dimensions. Learn how to get to the Ein Sof and deal with source energy. We do this. We put